Despite having national adoption at the state level, that marijuana still sits on the DEA's list of scheduled narcotics. Note that the DEA has rarely, if ever, rejected a rescheduling recommendation from HHS. Their unredacted scheduling recommendation has recently been leaked, and it is 252 pages analyzing and proposing that the DEA move cannabis to a Schedule 3. Will cannabis be rescheduled this year? Sit tight as we light up for more. Okay, welcome back to the Restart channel. If you're new here, go ahead and smash that subscribe button because we're bringing you nonstop cannabis education, industry updates, and new product drops from your favorite canna brand. Restart. Now, to bring you up to speed, if you've tuned into any of our previous videos on hemp or marijuana's federal status, then you're probably aware that marijuana, despite having national adoption at the state level and hemp's federal legality as of 2018, that marijuana still sits on the DEA's list of scheduled narcotics. Specifically, it's listed as a Schedule 1 drug, which is the highest classification that is defined as having high abuse risk with no accepted medical use.
Oh no, you didn't!
Now, if you use cannabis at all, you know how silly it is for marijuana to be up there amongst PCP and crack cocaine. But nonetheless, it is. And it's been an ongoing battle ever since it was placed there in 1970. For the last 54 years, cannabis has slowly been destigmatized, so much so that there is increasing pressure on the federal government to adjust cannabis's status. In fact, in October of 2022, President Biden directed the Department of Health and Human Services to reconsider whether the classification of cannabis as a Schedule 1 drug under the Controlled Substances Act was appropriate in light of current medical science. Some industry operators are for sure in favor of reclassification from Schedule 1 to another schedule, stating that any shift could help alleviate some of the criminal penalties that come with a Schedule 1 status, as well as open up opportunities for more financial stability for operators. And while some are in favor of reclassification, others are pressing for its removal from the scheduled list altogether. Of course, it's a bit complex just moving it from one schedule to the next. Who has the power?
Who got the power?
And what is the timeline? Specifically, the recommendation for rescheduling would come from the Health and Human Services, but then would need to go to the DEA for reconsideration. Note that the DEA has rarely, if ever, rejected a rescheduling recommendation from HHS. This all got amped up though when late 2023, a top official at the Department of Health and Human Services wrote the DEA's head, Ann Milgram, calling for marijuana to be reclassified as a Schedule 3 drug under the Controlled Substances Act. And this is according to a letter dated August 29th, 2023. Their unredacted scheduling recommendation has recently been leaked, and it is 252 pages analyzing and proposing that the DEA move cannabis to a Schedule 3. Specifically, it goes into establishing a new standard for currently accepted medical use based on state level data, which is being pulled from current medical states and patients to ultimately prove the point that cannabis, in fact, does have medical use. The reality is, while this is a momentous next step, the progressing of this within the next 2 years is highly unlikely. And on top of it, we have a presidential election coming up. But it is a huge step that could have massive implications for operators and consumers alike if the DEA were to accept the HHS rescheduling recommendation. Of course, we'll be tracking this conversation closely and be sure to share our updates right here on our channel. So we'll see you on the next video. Be sure to forward this to a friend to keep them in the know and let us know your best guess on when you think we could expect the DEA to implement a rescheduling for marijuana. See you guys in the next video.